just give a quick PSA? This is for the men. If you are a man in public, give us some space. If you see a woman or a woman and her child by themselves, just give us some space. I don't care if you're the nicest man on the planet and you have the best intentions.
Do you know what the funniest thing about so many men is nowadays? So many men are no longer scared of being single. They're now scared of being in a soul-sucking, detrimental relationship that's only going to waste their time, waste their energy, waste their effort, and waste their money. They would rather be single than be in a bad relationship. So it's not that men are complaining because they're single. Men are complaining because they've just seen everything as such a waste of time for them lately.
Something strange is happening in modern relationships. Women are desperately asking, where are the men who actually want commitment? But at the same time, many of them spent years telling men not to approach, not to talk to them, not to get close. Now the result is showing. And what's happening might surprise a lot of people.
Do you know what's offensive? Dating apps in your 30s. Do you know what's more offensive? When the people in your life who are in relationships or married or dating look at you with pity and they say, just keep trying, your time's coming, it'll happen when you least expect it, just get out there and meet people. No. Have you been on Hinge lately? Have you been on Hinge in 2025? If the answer is no, you are not allowed to give me your opinion. Like, I'm 31, and this whole meeting people organically out and about thing, I just don't think it exists anymore. I don't think people communicate in person. So we've been trying the dating apps. Let's start by Hinge. Offensive. The most offensive thing is when the little prompt comes up on Hinge and it says, we think you two are the most compatible, and then you see who they're thinking you're compatible with. I'm like, that's what I'm bringing in? So it's a me issue. And then we have Tinder. Tinder is only good if you're overseas and you're in Europe. And that's really if you want to hook up with a hot European man. They are very sexy. But like in America, you're going to get kidnapped and you won't be alive if you go on Tinder. And then we have Bumble. Bumble's a lot of work. I don't like to do all the work. I feel like I have to do so much work in my real life as a girl. No, I don't want to message you. I'm sorry. And last but not least, we have this magical app called Raya, which is like very exclusive. All the people not on Raya, they want to be on Raya. Let me tell you, no, you don't. You don't want to be on Raya. They're matching you with people in Dubai, people in freaking Australia, people in Europe. No one where you live. And then if you do come across someone where you actually live and you do match with them, no one speaks. No one speaks. And if you do match with someone and you message them and they respond, or vice versa, you're never going to meet up. Raya is not for that. Raya is to see what famous person you come across, see if you can match with them. Maybe you'll hook up with them and have a good story, and that's that. And welcome to dating in 2025. So if you're not on a dating app, congratulations. Life is great. Do not give me your opinion.
A quick question. Where are we meeting the men that actually want to date and be in a relationship? Because it's not the dating apps. It's not the coffee shops. I've been trying that. I've been trying that for a while now. Definitely not the bars. Not at my age, because they're all like 21, 22. So they definitely don't want to be in a relationship. And I definitely do not want to be a cougar. Nothing wrong with that. Just not my type. I, again, tend to go about 8 to 10 years older than me. I found out even those don't want to date for a relationship. Even they are still figuring things out. Yeah, they are. So where are we meeting the ones that want to date and be in a relationship? That want to date to eventually get into a relationship. That are dating to see if we're compatible for a relationship, not other things. No. I need to know, because I have yet to find them. And I've been looking, so maybe I should stop looking. I don't know. But if you know, please let me know. Help your girl out. Where are we meeting the good men? Where are we meeting the men that actually want to be in a real relationship? Let me know.
Look, I'll be honest. A lot of men didn't disappear from the dating market for no reason. Many of them are simply tired. Tired of investing time, money, and energy into dates that feel more like job interviews than real connections. When a man feels like he's constantly being evaluated, how much he makes, his status, what he can provide, he starts asking himself, is this even worth it? Many good men still want serious relationships, yes, but nowadays they're much more selective, or they simply prefer peace.
What is with single men in their 30s? I literally have 3 of them blocked because they have just been so unhinged and just terrible people. But it's like, as women, we try and go for older men because we're like, oh yeah, surely they'll be more emotionally mature, self-aware, more life experience. Boy, was I fucking wrong about that. The guys in their 30s that I've spoken to have literally been the same as the guys in their early 20s. And if anything, it's actually worse because they don't have the excuse of being young. It's like, so you should know better. You're literally like 35. One guy who was 35, I ended up saying, you know what, like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he continued to have a conversation with himself in our chat. Like 15 messages. I had to block him. Then another guy who was 33 literally ghosted me after saying communication is key, like 2 messages before. What?
I have a question for the guys, and I might be setting myself up for failure here, but I would like to try to do this. But if you are a man who is single and dating on dating apps, dating women, what is your experience? Because there's so much discourse that I am a part of online and in real life about within dating, the ways that men are showing themselves to be deficient or lacking when it comes to dating or relationships. I'm wondering what it looks like on the other side. If you're a man who meets a woman and goes on multiple dates with her, what is something that causes you to lose interest, you to pull away, you to be avoidant? Because there's this huge gap and divide between men and women and dating right now. So if there's a way to answer this in like a non-sexist way, I'd really love to know just what your perspective and experience is.
Okay, I feel like a lot of the men in this comment section are either chronically online or we've just lost the art of picking up signals from women. Granted, there are like a lot of women who come on here who have been like creeped on, or maybe like some guy approached them in the wrong way, or, you know, something happened where they're like, don't come up to women in public. But like, I have friends who seriously were like, oh, I saw this really cute guy at the gym, I'm gonna go back at that same time, maybe perhaps we'll strike up a conversation. Like, that's just their thought process. And so if you're consistently seeing a woman somewhere, she's got her AirPods out, maybe she's smiled at you a couple of times, making glances across the room, those are signals. I don't know, I'm just some like old married hag, and I met my husband at the workplace, but I just feel like if men are like too scared to approach women in public, like, we're all doomed. Because I'm sorry, these little dating apps are way too overwhelming. No one is meeting anyone. I mean, there's a couple lucky people out there, but I feel like no one is meeting their husband, their wife on a dating app these days. So let me know if you need help figuring out like what a subtle flirting sign or signal looks like from a woman across the room. So that way you don't have to be nervous to go and approach her, because this exists. Like, this is how people used to do things. Thank you.
This situation is almost ironic. For years, many men were told they shouldn't approach women in public because it was intrusive, creepy, or even harassment. Now that they're keeping to themselves, people are asking why they don't approach anymore. The truth is, many men are avoiding the risk. Today, even a simple hi can turn into public embarrassment or humiliation. So a lot of men choose not to read signals at all and just go about their lives. It's not fear, it's self-preservation.
If they wanted to, they would. Except that's not necessarily true, is it? Because there are a lot of reasons why people don't. You know, fear of rejection, vulnerability, insecurity. And these are all issues, I feel like, that could be worked through with simple communication. People are so afraid of being vulnerable these days because somebody from the past has burnt them. And instead of working through these issues that they developed from being burnt, they stumble through life projecting on these issues onto other people and creating these dysfunctional relationships with other people. And I genuinely believe that's why I have such a hard time accepting no response as a response at times, is because there's a reason, and I want to get to the bottom of it, and I want to work through it, because I've been there. But people are just too afraid of simple communication, which ultimately leads to this fear of commitment, is what it all boils down to. It's a hard time to date in 2025.
Don't look at the state of my flat. We need to talk about what is happening with American men. I was just watching the Call Your Daddy podcast with Millie Bobby Brown, and she was talking about how she met her husband, Jake Bon Jovi. And she was basically saying that they were friends for like a really long time. And for the longest amount of time, she had no idea whether this man actually liked her platonically or liked her more than that. Because although they were very good friends, he would never flirt with her. He would never show her any form of romantic interest, to the point where she said to her mum, I think you need to sit in on one of our conversations because I need you to assess whether this man is actually flirting with me or not. And so her mum sat in and went to her, Mills, I don't think this man is actually flirting with you in any way, shape or form. And it's only when Millie one day had the courage and was like, okay, I just need to let you know that I actually freaking like you. Sorry if this changes our friendship, but I need to tell you that I like you. And he was like, oh my God, you're so bold. And that's how they started a relationship, right? Bear in mind, I have noticed this when I go to the States myself. Like when I was in Manhattan earlier this year, I was in the clubs and what the hell is going on? Okay, so not only do men not approach women in clubs in New York, but they don't even acknowledge you when you come and sit on the same table as them. Why am I joining your table and you are making eye contact with me and you're cutting your eye at me and looking away? In that particular case, it was just the acknowledgement of, yeah, you're right, and then keep it stepping. Like, I'm British, we are unfriendly as fuck, and you can't unfriendly us. You know, if you're gonna do that, that's a record-breaking achievement, and the fact that men in New York can do that is unbelievable. I was talking to my American friend about this, and he was saying, yeah, we do actually just have a bit of an American bitch boy problem. Like, there is just like a national bitch boy problem. And this is happening in the celeb world as well, not just with the common folk. So what is happening with American men and the pursuit of women? I need to know.
Calling men weak or bitch boys because they're not chasing women the way they used to completely ignores how much the world has changed. Many men have learned that showing interest can be seen as pressure, inconvenience, or even inappropriate behavior, so they pulled back. It's not a lack of masculinity, it's adaptation to the current environment. When the rules become confusing and the risk of public rejection is high, many men simply choose not to play the game.
My mantra for dating in 2025 is high standards, no expectations. Let me explain what I mean. I had a rough 2024 for dating, but I think my expectations were just too high. Now I've realized going into 2025, I really want to channel the energy of just having fun with it. I don't want my life to be like dictated or like the way I feel on a certain day to be dictated by dating. That's why I'm saying I'm having high standards, but no expectations. I'm not just gonna date anybody, and obviously if somebody treats me horribly on a date or just does something that doesn't align with someone I could ever see myself being with, I'll be out the door. But I also don't want to have high expectations. So I'm just saying I'm having no expectations because I don't want to have a self-fulfilling prophecy where I'm saying, well, I'm going to have low expectations and then everybody sucks. So I'm going with no expectations. Nobody can disappoint me. People can just surprise me in a good way. If that happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I still got to talk to a new person, meet a new person, learn about their life. Because at the end of the day, dating is supposed to be fun. Nobody wants to be that affected by the date they went on, especially when it's bad. So that's my mindset. Like, I'm not gonna accept trash. I'm gonna expect nothing. That's gonna be the best way to date in 2025. So say it with me. High standards, no expectations for dating in 2025.
Can I just give a quick PSA? This is for the men. If you are a man in public, give us some space. If you see a woman or a woman and her child by themselves, just give us some space. I don't care if you're the nicest man on the planet and you have the best intentions. Just realize the world that we live in and that you need to give us some space, okay? Because while you may be the nicest human on the planet and you have the best intentions, approaching me and getting close to me instantly gives me like extreme anxiety because I don't know who you are. You are a stranger, and out in public, stranger, danger, okay? Especially when it's just me and my child. Now, mind you, this man was a nice old man. At least I think so. I have no idea. The point is, when a man gets within feet of me, I am in like fight or flight mode. Like, get back, give me space, like, stop approaching women in public, okay? Even if you are just trying to tell them that their child is beautiful or to enjoy the time, stop approaching us, okay? Because we are on high alert. So, we appreciate that you are kind and loving and want to share your kindness and love. Stop doing it in public to strangers, because it makes us want to like fight you, especially if our children are with us. Okay? That's just the world we live in, and I'm sorry, but like, the only reason you should be approaching a woman in public, you know her, or she is asking you for help. Okay? Other than that, just give us some space. Smile from afar. Wave from afar. Like, that's all you have to do. Do not approach us. Do not come within touching distance of our basket. That's all. Just be aware of the world we live in and where women's brains are out in public, because most of us are on high alert. So, just a little quick PSA. Hope y'all having a great day.
And here we see one of the biggest modern paradoxes. On one hand, some women say they want to be approached, meet men, and have relationships. On the other hand, messages keep appearing telling men not to approach, not to talk, not to come close. What exactly is a man supposed to understand from that? Many simply decided to respect exactly what's being asked: distance. The problem is that no relationship starts from a distance, and the result is this: both sides isolated in their own fear.